Hello friends, in this tutorial we are going to understand how to create landing table, how to create a staging table and how to create base subject table. And apart from that we will understand some predefined columns which are given by Informatica MDM for each and every table. So let's consider one very basic data model for understanding and creating these tables. Suppose I have one EMP table which will have EMP ID as a primary key and data type integer, and second column will EMP name which will have a data type varchar. Second table which is the child of employee ID, so EMP address is the child of EMP which will have address ID int which is the primary key, EMP address ID which will be the foreign key of the EMP table, and address which will actual contain the address which will contain the address value of the address table. So let's try to create these tables in the MDM hub. So see, first of all we should understand, like if you want to create landing table then we can easily create landing table first, but for good understanding we have to plan that we have to populate all the records in the base subject table. That is our main target, right? So we have to start thinking like what the columns should be there in base object, because as we know that for creating a staging table first of all we have to create base object, then we can create the staging table. Landing table can we create independently, that's not a problem. So suppose I want to create I want to populate two base object tables, one for employee and one for address. And as we know that for populating these two base object table we need a staging table, and the number of staging tables, it depends on the number of source system. We will see that. So let's try to create a base object. So how to navigate? Just go to model, go to a schema, then you will see that. Now right click on base object. I'm getting some issue, just a minute. Now right click on base. Oh, I need to take a right lock. Now yeah, select base object and now you can click on plus sign, then you can see the one prompt will come. So here for differentiating landing and staging and base subject, just I will use like L underscore for landing, S underscore for staging and B underscore for base subject. So like I want to write employee base subject as B underscore EMP, so that will automatically be generated. That physical name will be appended with C underscore table name. So here we are giving B underscore EMP, so C underscore B underscore EMP is automatically created. So table space, what the default value we had given, like CMX data and CMX index, we will keep as it is. Secure resource, if you want to make as secure or private you can choose accordingly. So let's make it as a private. Click on OK. So you can see that base object table B underscore EMP has been created, but there is no columns. Business columns are available here. So for defining the columns, just click on plus sign. In the EMP table I have a business column like EMP name and EMP ID. These two columns I have, so just I will write like EMP underscore ID, which should have a data type int, and here EMP ID could be nullable, and because row ID object is a row ID object will be the primary key for this table, so I'm making this as not nullable. See, it depends on you. So I am putting not nullable, and if you are putting not nullable, then you can define some, like here one option is coming like has default value, or you want to not provide some default value. So it depends on you. So default, if you will click on this, then here you can put default value, otherwise it will take default value 0 in case of integer and null in case of varchar. So I will give default value 0 if I will not get any value for this column. And here you can see trust. So trust we will see later. Once we will define trust for that particular column, then we need to check it. If you want to make it as a unique, then you can click this validate. Once we will define the validation rule, then we have to check this apply null value. Like once we are getting null value in case of update, then if you are checking this, then that particular null value will be applied on this column, otherwise it will not be taken. GBID is a kind of global identifier. So suppose we are getting 20 or 30 business columns from the sources, and if one of column is having a kind of unique identifier and we want to make as a GBID, then just we can click that particular column as a GBID. Putable, like if using the different CIF APIs or other applications we want to update this particular column, then we have to check this particular column as a putable, then this column could be updated. So that's all. Next, try to enter the second column, that is the EMP name, right? Let's see the name. That is EMP name. So that is EMP underscore NAME. So let's yeah, it will be nullable varchar. Let's take it 100, and the other columns significance is same what we discussed now. So you can see if you are putting nullable, then hash default value is inactive. You cannot select that, because nullable means if you are not getting any value, we are putting null value for that particular thing. And if you can see I am deselecting it, then I am able to select, or I am able to select the hash default value, and I am able to put some value for it. So I don't want default value for that. I want nullable. If null value is coming, then I will store that null value for that particular column. So we have EMP ID, EMP name for the EMP base object. Let's click on save. So you can see now that particular base object has been created with this much of columns. Now we will try to create a staging table, but make sure that before creating any staging table, you should have to define source systems, because you can see here once no source system defined. Here you can see there are no source system defined. Please add one or more system before creating a staging table, right? So for defining the source system, just come to system and trust, expand it. Here admin source system means the default. You can see now click on right click add system. So suppose I want to define two source system, SRC1 sorry, and SRC2. Like suppose in our requirement we have a two source systems, source system 1, source system 2. From here we are getting the data, so I will define two source system. So these two source system has been defined. Now we can create the staging table. Now if I will click on a staging table, then you can see we are getting the prompt. So for identifying a staging, just I am putting s underscore emp, so that we can understand that is a staging table of employee. And here you can select like from which source system you want to populate data for in that particular staging table. So we have two systems. Suppose from SRC1 we are getting data for s underscore emp. So I will select SRC1. See, let's try to understand. Suppose in our requirement we are having a landing table, a staging table, and base object, and finally we are having two base object like employee and address. If someone is asking how much number of staging table could be and how much number of landing tables could be in this scenario, so it depends. Landing table could be 1 to n number of n numbers. It depends on the business requirement. And a staging table also, it depends on the number of source systems. So if in our requirement business is giving us 20 source systems, from different 20 source systems we have to populate the data. So for each for employee a staging table, we have to define different 20 staging tables, and for address also we have to define 20 different staging tables so that we can capture the data from all the source systems in the respective staging table. Later on, we can populate those data in the base subject. And in case of landing also, we can do one thing. We can define one landing tables, and if you want, we can do partition on the basis of source system, and we can store all the data from 20 source system in single landing table itself, or either we can create 20 landing table for each source system. It depends on our requirement. So it's not hard coded that it could always have a one landing table, two landing tables, or 20 landing tables. It depends on our requirement. But remember, always remember, if you are having 20 source systems, so you will definitely have 20 staging table. And always you will have one base object for that. So we have defined a base object. Now we are trying to define a staging table. So we have given the name that will be default, and you should know that a staging table is a subset of base object. So what, suppose we are defining 20 columns in base object. So once we are going to create a staging table, so we will see that all the 20 columns are reflecting. So why these 20 columns are reflecting, we need to understand. See, in our main target is base subject. So suppose in base subject we have to populate 20 columns. So why these 20 columns are coming while creating the staging table? Because see, if we are having kind of 20 source systems and we have to define 20 staging tables, so it may be that particular 2 or 3 columns is coming from source system 1, another 2 or 3 columns we are getting from source system 2. In the same way, other columns we are getting from the different source systems. So as per business requirement, as per our data model, we have to define number of columns in a particular staging table. Always remember, here you can see two columns are reflecting. That means not that always we have to select these two columns for creating a staging table. Here for the training purpose, for understanding purpose, we have taken a small data model. So actually these two columns we are getting from source system 1, and these two columns we are getting from source system 2 also. So once we will create to a staging table, then we will see that we will click these two columns in the both the cases, but it will not be always. It is not generic. It depends on the situation and data model. Okay, so I want to keep these two columns in a staging table. Cell update, like if you want to do update on the basis of external like SIF API and other, with the help of that we can do the update. So if you want, we can click that, other you can skip that. Now here you can see lookup system, lookup table, lookup column. So see, these staging tables value can be populated with the help of lookup table. How? Suppose in a employee ID we are having, suppose, kind of department ID, and with the help of that department ID we are doing the lookup in department table, and we can have a value of department name, department description, department address. So in this way we can do the lookup on the particular column, on the basis of particular column in a lookup table, and we can get some additional value. So for that we will see these all the value in other video. So for understanding, just mind it. So we can populate this value after doing the lookup also. So just I am putting those two value in the staging table. So if I will see a staging table, so I can see two value is showing, right? So I have created base object and a staging table for employee. In the same way, we have to create base object for employee address, which is the child table of employee. So let's give the name b underscore em, what the name we had given, emp address, b underscore emp underscore addre address. Same value will be, let's cancel it, let's add item. So that will be b underscore before base object emp underscore a double d re double s, sorry, double d re double s address. So here you can see cb emp address, make as a private. So we can see b underscore emp address has been created. Now we have to define the columns for that. So what the columns we are defining: data model, address id, which will be the primary key for that address table. So that is address id, which will be integer and which will not be nullable, and which you can see here default value is 0 will be supplied in case of null value we are getting or other value we are getting. So address id we had given. Now we have to take what the next column, that is address employee id, which is a adr underscore emp id, which is a foreign key of emp table. This will also be integer and this could be nullable. Child in child table maybe we are getting some address which is not having any value in the parent, so that value we have to store here. So that could be nullable, so just keep it. And next column value is address. So address, a double d r e less address, so that could be varchar, and we can give varchar like 100, and it could be nullable also. Okay, and we have already understood what the significance of these all the columns. So let's create. We have defined address id integer, nullable, not nullable because this is a primary key of this address column. Address emp id, which is a foreign key of employee table, so this could be nullable, integer, and address value which will contain the actual address of the business data, so which will having varchar 100. Fine. So now save it. So you can see emp address base subject table has been created with the following columns. Fine. Now let's create a staging table for the same. So again, as earlier we discussed, means all the staging table is a subset of the base subject. So what the column we will define, we will get these all the column list in the staging particular staging table. So let's give the name is underscore emp underscore a double d r e double s emp address, and suppose we are getting data for this also from source system 1, so I will keep src1 here. Otherwise you can select src2 if you are getting data from different source system. And I am getting data for these all the fields in the staging table. Maybe in some cases that only with the help of source system 1 we are getting data for 2 fields, or out of 20 fields we can get data for 3 fields. It depends. Not always that we have to select all the value what we are we can see from the base subject. Okay, cell update we already understood, so click on OK. So here we have defined a staging table for what? A staging table for emp address also. All the columns we can see. Now let's try to define landing tables. So we have to define 2 landing tables at least, one for employee and one for employee address. So here you can see we are getting a from here also we can define the base subject, but the good thing is that we define base subject how we had defined. Add item, landing tables, display. So for landing we are using L underscore emp, so that will be the landing tables. Make this as a secure, that will be private. And here you can see in the columns last update date, that is the means hub defined columns for the landing tables, so that will automatically be automatically defined for each and every landing tables. Now let's define columns. So in landing tables also we will have a emp id and emp name. So emp id let's not nullable, that will be kind of primary key, so that will be integer. And next column we will have emp name, so that could be nullable, not an issue, and let's give the value 100. So we've defined the landing tables with emp id and emp name. Let's save it. So that is saved. Now let's define another landing tables for the employee address. So that is L underscore emp underscore a double d r e double s address, right? So let's create one. Created. Now let's try to define the columns. Click on this. We are having address ID, address EMP ID, address ID. So address ID will be the integer and which could not be nullable because we have defined primary key for that particular records. Okay, now let's come to address EMP ID. Address EMP ID. Show address EMP ID. So this could be nullable because this is the foreign key. No, just a minute. Yeah, in address, just a minute. Yeah, this is the foreign key, right? So address ID is the primary key in the address table that could not be nullable. Address EMP ID could be nullable, so we can put it null and int. And the next field is address, which will contain the actual value of the address. So which could be varchar 100. Right, so we have defined address ID, which is primary key, address EMP ID, which is the foreign key of EMP, and address, which will contain the actual address. Now click on save. So you can see we have created two base object, two staging table, and two landing tables. Fine. Now we will see some other things like some predefined columns in each and every tables. So for that, just go to base object, go to columns. Here you can see show system columns. So once you will click on that, all the systems column will be shown apart from the business columns. So what the columns we had defined, those all are the business columns, because for that only we are getting data, and we are not getting data for these all the system defined columns. So MDM hub will automatically populate some value, populate some record once we will run the job. So let's try to understand what is the significance of each and every table's system columns in case of base object. So here we can see the first column is row ID object. So row ID object is the primary key for the base object. So this will work as a primary key for the b underscore emp table. Creator, who has created this particular record, created date, updated by, who is updated date. That is very simple. Consolidation indicator is important one. So it will have 1 2 3 4 and 9 value. So it could have a 5 value. 1 means record has been consolidated, 2 means queued for merge, 3 means queued for match, 4 means record has been newly inserted, and 9 means the record has been put on hold due to some reason. So it could have a 5 value. Deleted indicator, if the record get deleted, then that value will be set. Deleted by, deleted date. Last row ID system. So last row ID system is actually once we will define a source system in system and trust, then for that particular source system, one row ID get generated, that is called row ID system. So that last row ID system value will be populated here. Dirty indicator. So dirty indicator, at the time of tokenization, the record which will qualify for tokenization, for those records, dirty indicator value will be set, and after tokenization that will be cleaned out. So that is the dirty indicator. Interaction ID, so that will maintain the ID for the different processes. Hub state indicator, it is having a 3 value, 1, -1 and 0. 1 means active, -1 means inactive, and 0 means deleted. Content metadata dirty indicator, that is a system column, and these two columns we are having the business columns. For that we are already getting data by our landing or staging tables. So for other base object table also you can see we are getting the same system columns. Okay, and here also in all the base object column we will get 14 system columns, and all will have the same significance. Okay, now let's have a look on the staging tables and try to have a look like is there any system defined columns in a staging or not. So let's click on this. We are having 4 columns. So p key, let's click on source system columns. So here p key src object is the primary key in case of a staging table. So for each and every staging table there will be one p key src object. We will see how it get populated. Row ID object. So row ID object is optional, see, we can make a either primary key, PKSRC object as a primary key, or row ID object as a primary key. It's depend on the scenario. So in some cases we do develop our stage job, like we are going to make PKSRC object as a primary key, or in some cases we can make a row ID object as a primary key and we can go ahead. Delete indicator, deleted date, deleted by, last updated date, updated by, created date, created name, and source row ID. Same. If you are defining the source system in system and trust, so for that particular source system, we will get source row ID. So that row ID will populate it here. Hub state indicator, same, 1, -1 and 0. Address ID, and these three fields are the, we can see the business columns we are getting. Okay. So for staging table, these are the infrastructure columns we can see. For landing tables, let's have a look on the infrastructure columns. So for landing tables, only we are having one infrastructure column, that is last update date. So last update date value will be populated for every record in the staging in the landing table by Informatica MDM. So in this video we understood how to create page object, how to create a staging table, before that how to create source system, how to create a staging tables, how to create landing tables. Apart from that, we understood what are the different infrastructure columns are associated for page subject, staging and landing tables. Now in the next video we will try to understand, we will try to populate the data in these respective tables. So that's all in this video. So if you have any query, then you can drop your query. We will try to respond it as soon as possible. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.